we are among the first in the field. I mean, we have 2 decades of good experience under our belt.
GEF is really the largest and the most known entity working on biodiversity conservation and providing the largest money.
We're like a magnet that attracts talent, ideas, exchanges of technologies, processes, and knowledge.
It plays a unique role that has been enhanced by the work that Monique has carried out over the last 6 years.
What I have tried to engage in type of reforms are not reforms just linked to the subject of environment. They are reforms which are structural reforms.
Since I've been here, I've noticed that the instrument has become stronger, it has become more effective.
Monique managed to keep the GEF relevant and central to the multilateral environmental agreements, for which it serves as the financial mechanism.
Without this money, without this policy, without this mandate, the financial flows towards developing countries would have been for much less sustainable activities.
What we're trying to do is to make sure, particularly, to really focus on the most important areas.
We finance projects that make the agriculture sector less vulnerable and more resilient to the impacts of climate change, changing crops, changing techniques of irrigation.
Harnessing solar energy and bringing that energy to the rural poor. Our investments in hydrogen and fuel cell, cars, trucks, buses, in the rapidly developing countries, we've transformed the transport sector.
Intervening in the health sector too, in the infrastructure sector, but also in the natural resources management sector, in which, for example, restoring mangroves helps coastal areas to cope with the impacts of sea level rise and salinization in the water.
We are also trying to save the ecosystem. Ecosystem provides us water, the air, the necessary, goods and services that is necessary for us to survive and live.
The GEF, I think, has moved away from being an institution run by agencies to one that's being run by countries.
We involve local communities and local knowledge, and not those expensive consultants or other means that could be more costly, as well as not being owned by the people on the ground.
We're all investing public funds here, so we all have a responsibility, a personal interest in saying that these resources are used very wisely.
Accountability is very crucial, and I think that we are pushing hard towards really making a GEF very responsive and a listening organization.
In the traditional donor world, the approach is almost exclusively top-down, whereby programs are decided at a very high level and then implemented in the regions or in the countries. What we do is the other way around.
Countries meet internally with their stakeholders, decide what their objectives are, what their strategies are, how much money they have available in the GEF to achieve them, and then decide what's the best way to use that money.
We believe that those that know best where countries should go and how their future should be are the countries themselves.
It's a good model, and it's a model that's being emulated by others, other institutions around the world.
The GEF is operating in a world of constrained resources, in a world in which environmental challenges are changing and growing all the time.
Challenges are logistical, political, financial.
The GEF has a lot going for it. It has a track record of about 20 years of experience, a network of agencies and countries which it has nurtured and developed over the last 20 years.
I think what is exciting is that the GEF is still a place to go where you can have innovative projects in the field of environment and development.
Monique came at a very important time in the GEF. She transformed it from being a reactive project to being a proactive leader.
My problem was to answer the need of the different countries, which nobody wanted to address because it was putting all the agencies and the GEF Secretariat in an order which was not that simple.
She's been a catalyst, I would say, in the GEF in stimulating this organization and becoming much more than a financial mechanism, but really a catalyst of ideas and creativity.
I think Monique has made drastic changes. I mean, projects are going through much quicker than they used to in the past.
She also has a lot of political, governmental, diplomatic experience, which helps very much insofar as establishing the right policy environment.
The Global Environment Facility has perhaps one of the best track records of multilateral organizations in learning from evaluations. And certainly Monique has played a crucial role in this regard.
She is extremely mindful of innovation, tenacious in pursuing whatever she thinks is right.
It is what it is that the people I am supposed to serve want, and how can I do it? And me, I am supposed to serve not a boss, but countries.
I characterize Monique as water. In the sense, I mean, we all think of water as being something malleable. On the other hand, water is a force of nature. It comes to an obstacle, it tries to find its way around the obstacle, and it eventually does.
That balance between her sweetness side and the sort of the very, very strong side has been the balance that has been leading the organization.
Great leaders actually have those characteristics. They need to be passionate, they need to have a vision, and they need to have the drive to execute it.
She implemented or started implementing a series of reforms aimed at making the GEF more open, more country-driven.
GEF is more effective, GEF is more forward-looking, there is more money available.
We've all worked to add value to the equation. Certainly that the standard begins at the top, at the CEO position.
As Monique leaves the GEF, I think she leaves it as a much stronger and effective organization.
It will be up to the new CEO to use all the benefits and everything that Monique has put there, the solid GEF, to take it in whatever direction they believe it should go in.
All the rest of us and her successor now have the responsibility to carry it forward and to build on it.
So that is our challenge, to maintain that level of quality or increase it even more so if that's at all possible.
A great opportunity now for the GEF to leap into a new dimension.